Hello students, good morning. Welcome back to your English class. So today we'll be doing an interesting poem from your literature textbooks. Dear Mr. Examiner, kindly open your literature textbooks to page number 20. Dear Mr. Examiner, written by Gareth Owen. The poet of this poem is Gareth Owen. Okay. Before beginning this poem, let me ask you all few questions. Dear students, tell me, how do you feel doing your exams? Yes, few of us are very excited, few of us really get tensed. You are scared of facing the examination hall. Have you ever been to an exam and you could not answer any of the questions at all? So, in such a situation, what did you do then? Imagine your teacher does not allow you, does not let you to go out of the examination hall. So, you have to sit there in the examination hall for that given amount of time. Maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and so. So, what would you do in such a situation? Okay, so you'll sit there in the examination hall, you'll look around here and there, you put your head down and you go to sleep. Or you'll play with your pencils, erasers, and sharpeners, and you make your stationery items balance on the tips of your fingers. Am I right? Yes? So when you complete your exam also, you try to play with your stationery. And imagine that when you enter the examination hall and you cannot answer any question. So what will you do? You sit there, you look around, put your head down, you go to sleep, or you play with your pencils, your eraser, your sharpeners, and you also try to balance your items on the tips of your fingers. So these are the things that I have seen students do when they finish their exams early. Most of the time, I have observed children playing with their stationery after writing their exam. So, today the poem is about a boy who went to write an exam and he did not know any of the answers. Can you guess what the boy must have done? Okay? Okay. Let's listen to this poem. It's an interesting poem about a boy. Students, it's a very simple poem. Actually, it is a desire of a child. It's a story of a backbencher. He is expressing his feelings. Okay. He has read the questions, but he did not know the answer. So let's see what the boy must have done. It's a desire of a child. I think even you also must have faced such a similar situation. So, the boy is thanking the teacher for the questions. Is that clear? The boy is putting his feelings through his words. Now, let's read the poem and then understand its meaning. Thank you so much for your questions. I've read them most carefully through, but there isn't a single one of them that I know the answer to. So, the boy is thanking the teacher for the questions. Okay, he is putting his feelings through the words. What is the boy saying? The boy is thanking his teacher. He says, "Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your questions. I have read all the questions very carefully, but there isn't even a single one of them that I know the answer to." So the boy has read the complete question paper. He says that I have read the whole complete question paper, but not even a single question. There is not even a single question, any one of them, where I know the answer, he says. So, next stanza. The boy says, I've written my name as instructed. Put the year, the month and the day. But after I'd finished doing that, I had nothing further to say. So the boy says, before writing the exam, students, what do you do before you start writing your questions in your answer sheet? We try to fill in your particulars. What do? You write your name, your class, your section, your date, name of the examination, name of the subject, don't you? So you fill in all your particulars. So the boy says, I've written my name as instructed, and I've also put the date, I've put the year, the month and the day also. But after I would finish doing that, I had nothing further to say. The boy says, I have nothing to write more than that. What do you all do? As soon as the question paper is given, you read the question paper and you fill in your particulars in your answer sheet and you start writing your answers. But in our poem, the boy says not even a single question answer he knows. So he has just written his particulars. After finishing that, he says that I have nothing to do. I have nothing further to say. Next. So, I thought I would write you a letter, fairly informally, about what I can see from my desk here and what it's like to be me. The boy says, so I thought I will write you a letter. Very simple letter, informal in the sense, very simple letter. The boy says, I don't know. So, I will write a letter. The boy says, I don't even know any of the answers. I don't know. So, I will write a letter about how I am feeling about this paper. The boy says, about what I can see from my desk here. He is sitting. See, in the picture, can you see the boy? See, this is the examiner. This is the teacher who is sitting there. And the students are writing here. Maybe this is the boy we are discussing about. The boy who is sitting on the last bench. He is looking here and there. He says, I'm going to write a letter about how I am feeling. About what I can see from my desk here and what it's like to be me, the boy says. The boy says, Mandy has written 10 pages. Who is Mandy? Mandy is his friend, one of his classmates. So how many pages has Mandy written? Mandy has written 10 pages. But it's probably frightful guff. He says, what do you mean by the word frightful? Frightful in the sense, what to say, all meaningless word. That is bhayanak we say in Hindi, isn't it? So guff. Guff means what? Nonsense. That is meaningless. He has written all meaningless answers. And how many pages has he written? He has written 10 pages. And Angela Smith is copying the answers of her guff. Who is Angela? Angela is one of his classmates. And what did Angela Smith write? Angela Smith is copying the answers of her cuff. Cuff in the sense what? Cuff means the end of the shirt sleeves off at the wrist. See, this is called as cuff. Okay. So, what did Mandy do? Mandy has written 10 pages. And what did Angela Smith do? Angela Smith is copying the answers from her cuff. And Miss Quinlane is marking our homework. Who is Miss Quinlane? Quinlane is their teacher. That is, Quinlane is their examiner. What is Miss Quinlane doing? The examiner doing? She is marking our homework. And the clock keeps ticking away. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. The clock keeps ticking away. I suppose for anyone outside, it's just another day. The boy says, there is a watch in the classroom. And what is the watch doing? It is ticking. You can hear, isn't it? Tick tock, the clock is ticking. And he says, I suppose for anyone outside is just another day. He says, I feel someone is outside. Next. See, this is your clock. What's the clock doing? The clock keeps ticking away. It keeps moving. Now let's move on to the next paragraph. There will be mothers going on errands, grandmothers sipping tea, unemployed men doing crosswords or watching Crown Court on TV. There'll be mothers. What will the mothers be doing? They'll be going on errands. What do you mean by the word errands? Errands means a short journey to collect something or to go out for work. Over here, mothers may be going out for work. And what is the grandmother doing? The grandmother's sipping tea. Don't you sip your tea? We take tea, coffee, milk, water. Sipping means what? Good के पीना. We say it in Hindi. Okay? Good के पीना. हम लोग फूंक कर चाय पीते हैं ना? So what are the grandmothers doing here? Grandmothers sipping tea. And unemployed men doing crosswords. What is crossword? Crossword is a playing game. It's a game. You must have also played this, isn't it? You'll be doing certain crosswords in your English also. We have done last year. So crossword is a kind of game where you must have also done it. So what are they doing? The unemployed men are doing crosswords or they are watching Crown Court on TV. Now what do you mean by the word Crown Court? Crown Court, it's an episode on criminal cases. It's a show. I think you all also must have seen on TV, isn't it? Like crime serial, like CID you must have seen, like Crime Patrol, Savdhan India. There are a number of serials which you see on TV. It is in connection to Crown Court. So few people are doing crosswords and few people are watching Crown Court on television. And the rain has finally stopped here. The sun has started to shine. See, can you see the grandma sipping the tea? I think even your grandmas also sit and sip tea in this way, right? Yes. So the grandma is sipping tea here. And next, this is the crossword. Okay. So, who are doing these crosswords? Unemployed men are playing the game. So, crossword is a game which even you must have played. Next, see. The rain has finally stopped. This is raining. Now the rain has finally stopped and the sun has started to shine. See here, can you see the bright sun shining up in the sky? Isn't it a wonderful scene, children? So the sun has also started to shine. The rain has finally stopped here. And in the back garden in the Sefton Drive, a housewife hangs shirts on a line. What do you mean by the Sefton Drive? Sefton Drive is a small space to move in the garden where one or two seaters sits and move. So it's a small space. So there in the back garden in the Sefton Drive, who hangs shirts on the line? A housewife hangs shirts on the line. See, can you see? A housewife hangs shirts on a line. Okay, that is, it's a kind of rope to dry the clothes. Can you see the rope, children? So we use this rope to dry the clothes. Is that clear? Okay, next paragraph. A class flies past to play tennis. The cathedral clock has just pealed. A mower chugs backwards and forwards up on the hockey field. So, the class flies past to play tennis. That is the kinds of flies. What are they doing? They are passing to play in the tennis court. And what is the cathedral clock? See, this is the cathedral clock. The class flies past to play tennis. All the flies are going to play there, and the cathedral clock has just pealed. What do you mean by the cathedral clock? Cathedral clock means the church bells has just pealed. Pealed means what? Ringing loudly. Okay, can you see the bells over here? This is a cathedral clock, and here you can see them ringing the bells. Okay, and the mower chugs backwards and forwards. What do you mean by the mower? Mower means a machine that cuts the grass. I think you must have seen this in our colony, isn't it, children? A number of times they come and cut the grass in our colony, in our school also, in our ground, in our Saraswati garden. So what is a mower? Mower, this is the machine that is used to cut the grass. So the poet says, the mower chugs backwards and forwards. So this mower is moving frontward and backwards to cut the grass. Where? Upon the hockey field. In the hockey field, the mower chugs backwards and forwards. Miss Quinlan's just read. What have I written? Her face is an absolute mask. Before she collects the newspapers in, I've a sort of favor to ask. So, what does he says? Miss Quinlan. Who is Miss Quinlan? Quinlan is the examiner. She just read what I have written. I have in the sense the boy has written. Her face is an absolute mask. That is, after reading, the kind of expression has changed. Okay, the examiner's face, that is, her kind of expression has changed. Before she collects the papers in, I have a sort of favor to ask. The boy, before giving the paper, he has made a request to his teacher, to his examiner. Okay, he says, I thought your questions were lovely. I have only myself to blame. But couldn't you give me some marks for writing the date and my name? The boy says, before giving the paper, I made a request to the examiner, saying that I agree to your questions, madam. Your questions are lovely. Your questions are beautiful. I have only myself to blame. The boy is saying, madam, I am not blaming you or your question paper. Your questions are very lovely. Your questions are beautiful. But I am blaming myself because I could not write the answers. But couldn't you give me some marks? The boy is saying, ma'am, I agree that I have not written any of the answers. But please give me some marks because I have written the date and my name also. At least for that, for writing the name and the date, could you please give me some marks? The boy is making a request to the examiner. Of course, I agree that I have not written any of the answers. But could you please give me the marks for writing my name or the date? The boy is making a request to his teacher. The boy says, I did not study. How can I blame others when I have not studied? I did not study. At least give me some marks for writing. At least my name and the date. So can you please give me some marks? This is the request made by the boy to the examiner. Okay, children. So this is the summary of the poem, Dear Mr. Examiner. Hope you must have followed it.